So, this usually shows if a series is going to be good or bad. Common Side Effects, Episode 3, and here we are. I was quite surprised with the developments of Frances. She is not a one way linear character, so the whole plot line of her just wanting to be involved for the money, it's kind of gone at this rate. So, everything starts off with her going to see her mom. She is very shook from the events that took last episode. Big fire, her job is just chaotic. She wants to make that money, get help for her mom. And while she is there visiting her mom, she sees a letter on this table, and it's from Marshall. Marshall made an unsolicited visit to her mother, and along with that, ended up being a magical mushroom. So she takes this mushroom, she rips it up into little pieces, puts it in some mush food, applesauce, something like that, starts feeding it to her mom, and we don't really get results here. Nothing happens instantly. Meanwhile, we have Marshall on the run. He is from a train to a train stop. And the train stop is where this big call goes down, more or less. He calls Frances. And Frances is just done. She is done. One thing is the house fire. The second thing is, why was there a warrant on him? And then the third is, hey, this is not worth it. This for money, it's not worth it. I'm gonna lose everything just for this. So contact Dunzo, and along with Frances, apparently she's maybe going on this work trip with her boyfriend and her boss, which in itself is kind of funky and weird. But hey, she's in the back seat. That's all we know for now. Let's go to Marshall. Marshall, yes, he's on the run. He ends up going to this either junkyard or some type of car place where you go and borrow cars. Yeah. Instead of getting a normal one, he gets an ice cream truck. And now he's on the highway on his ice cream truck. He plays the music for a second. I'm like, hey, this would be comedy if he started playing this and just going on the highway and a bunch of people popped up. But no, actually, shockingly enough, they showed this guy, and it was kind of random at first, but everything kind of makes sense here, right? He's talking to his girlfriend, and while he's talking to his girlfriend, we kind of see him on the road. He kind of swerves off this deer, and we now know that something happened to him. And this is where our guy comes in, and he ends up helping him. This guy's name is John. I don't really think John's going to be an upcoming character. He might be like, oh, thank you, Marshall. You're my hero. But Marshall, he's misunderstood. They think of him as some type of killer or something. He is really a good guy. He's hippie. Now, the whole destination that Marshall had in mind was Hildy. And I could be wrong about this thus far. Whenever he gets to Hildy's house, the character appears to be a woman, and I think this other woman is supposed to be the same one from those videos that Frances was watching from last episode. So specifically, she is also a mushroom specialist, and she knows the importance of this blue mushroom. So the whole reason Marshall is there is to try and get a way for him to grow it, because he has a limited supply. Now, this is where this nutcase, I don't think Marshall's the nutcase. He seems more reasonable, hippie. She, on the other hand, is just, no, out of this world, insane. She gets this revolver, and she's like, oh, I want to see it work. Pew! Shoot yourself right in the heart. And Marshall has to run all the way back to this ice cream truck, has to get out these mushrooms, start force feeding it to her, and she's having this trippy dream. So every time they take this mushroom, a trippy phase happens, and it's so cool, and it's just amazing. She comes back, and they're kind of having some conversation about growing it. Apparently this comes from some type of come from Chernobyl, and the chemicals leaked into this mushroom. There's deep mushroom lore here, and it's really cool if you're into the sciences and the specialty of mushroom type thing. I don't know how important that is. That's kind of towards the technique and the technicals behind the properties of healing. Now, Hildy does not want him to have it. Marshall, you don't need this. Give it to me. And she ends up taking the revolver and threatening him. Now, Marshall is so sick, he gets the bullets out, and he drops the bullets, and he starts leaving. He's like, lady, you're crazy. And I thought this was kind of... I guess it's important for what the series has coming. So, a bit later on, we get to see she gets two people lined up to go and chase Marshall. And it seems they're some type of like field researchers as well in the mushroom field. Now that, I don't know how important that is, but my guess is he has some type of relationship between these people. Just because we're in a town or I guess state, wherever they are, where that's probably not too common, as we can see so far with this series. Okay. Marshall's on the run. He's being spied on. There's like a little robot watching him. And that's it to Marshall. Except one thing. He's going to be going to this specific dump. The specific dump, I don't know the importance as much, but I'm guessing it's going to be where he's going to try and grow. That's the pertainments to next episode. So we're going to get to see if he's able to buy this land or how he's going to obtain it. And I guess this is like a side thing going on to keep open in your mind. So us, the audience, to kind of question some things. We go to both the officers. Now they're kind of taking their own little pathways. First of all, the mushroom psychologist, she actually has this blue mushroom in hand. And now she's going to be working on it. And I don't think anyone else is going to get to see this except us and her, what this mushroom can do. Now, there is a chance they could try killing her off because she knows too much. This lady, she knows too much. But what I mean by these two officers, I don't know their names to a T, so let me get this the best I can, guys. Okay? One of them scores a date with the psychologist, which is kind of like a spin on things, and it's kind of different. It's different than I'm okay with. So, I believe this is Cabano. Cabano, I believe, is a female one. Okay, you can correct me in the comments. It's fine. She is going to be going on this date. She gets stood up because this lady has, I believe it's her sister to be taken care of, and she's working on this whole mushroom thing going on, analyzing all these different colored mushrooms. Now, Harrington, on the other hand, he's got something crazy going on. I think he's in love with the other officer, so Cabano and Harrington, I think they kind of like each other. That's kind of what I took here, that they have like some sort of crush. They even bring coffee for each other, and I thought it was cute. That's something I'm hoping that we can see growing. It's not important though. Very not important. Maybe for closure. But while Harrington was waddling, he was, I guess, watching some samurai movies and doing some research. Turns out there is more to our guy here. So, Marshall was found to be a killer as well. Those people he killed and shot, yes, he is technically some type of serial killer. He killed like 3 dudes. Now, the plot thickens just a little bit. Take it as you will. Like I said, Next episode, we get to see what he's going to do with this property, how's he going to obtain it. Everything else is a puzzle piece that has not yet been put in place. With that, guys, get straight to the rating. 8.8. Beautiful series. I didn't even notice, but Mike Judge had something to do with it. And he's not even like one of the head... I don't think he's a head lead here. Fantastic show, nonetheless. And I am excited for everything that is coming to Adult Swim this year. If they keep bringing stuff like this, only up from here. Only up from here. Question of the day is, do you think that Harrington and Cabano have a crush on each other? Maybe. But probably one way. Anyway, guys, hope you stay safe. And until next time, peace out.